Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy New Year. Ben's Brick Designs. Thanks for being here. I'm Ben. Good to see everybody. Today we're finishing up. I'm just going to kind of get right into it. The Empire State Building. Architecture Series Empire State Building. It is a quiet Sunday here. Hope you're all having a good day. I was able to get all the parts. Good morning, Kodiak Bricks. Good morning, Dave. I was able to get all the bricks done for my, you know what? I forgot my light. For my Umbaran Starfighter. Let's see if we can get this hooked up real quick. This is a new addition to the setup. Don't know if it works really well yet or not, but and mode, let's do that mode. It's a little better. So here's the Umbaran Starfighter. It's a little on the large side, but I think like 100 pieces or something like that. 102 pieces, maybe. Some things I really like about this. First of all, it's a weird shape. It was very difficult to figure out how to get the wings to be sort of this weird angle and a loop at the same time. They don't make a lot of organic shaped parts. A lot of the marking bits on the side just did with tiles, but you don't need to do that if you don't want to. I think you could probably get one tile to do this whole thing right now. I think you can get a triangular tile to do that. I do like the cockpit, the fishbowl cockpit. I do like the helmet on the Umbaran, because that's an actual, they did make Umbarans for like a battle pack or something like that, but they had like a white helmet with a visor. And in the Clone Wars, they had these bubble helmets, and I think these clear helmets did a lot better. So those are the things I really like about this one. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. This stand is a station on the planet Umbara. It's this dark kind of night world, and everything's sort of got this weird day-glow aspect to it. So I tried to capture that, which I think worked out well. So anyway, real pleased with this one. Glad I got the parts for it. Next, I think I'm going to do an ETA 2 shuttle. And so, yeah, we'll work on that next. So off we go with more build time. As you can see, we've got most of this tower done. I think we're probably going to work on the cone of the tower and then do the sides. So I think that's where we are. Finishing up bag 3, and then we'll move to bag 4. So yeah, everybody buckle in and have a good morning. Get some coffee. Kind of sad that it's the end of the holiday week and holiday time off. I've had a really, really good vacation. I'm kind of sad to go back to work. Which just illustrates to me that I cannot wait till I retire, because I can do this all day. Coffee and your cats. I don't think I'm missing a piece. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried to leave this whole area as is from Thursday, but I also put stuff on top of it to take some pictures. So I'm worried that I knocked some pieces off somewhere. So I did order the bonsai tree and the flower sets, which means I get also the car the cool car that goes with it. I did not go to the store to get them, so I won't be the first to have them on a stream. Everybody else seems to have gotten that first. But I will cycle those into some build times. I really do want to get back into some more designing and instruction work. I was supposed to work on a friend's set this weekend, instructions for it, and I didn't. I blame things like Cobra Kai and trying to get another giant list of things done. And I spent all day yesterday, not all day, but a good chunk of yesterday, after I got my my whiteboard drawing done. I realized that the person that I was drawing had no Wikipedia article, despite being a fairly important person. So I spent the day learning how to submit a Wikipedia article. And I know that I've done one before, and it was deleted. It wasn't notable or relevant or something like that. And since then I haven't, and this was like back in 2005 or something like that. So I'm gonna try again with this one, but this one, the last time I think it had something to do with me, like I was involved somehow. And this time it has nothing to do with me, because it's just a trans rights activist, trans health activist in Philadelphia. It had nothing to do with me. Not geographically, not politically. I mean, I wouldn't say not politically, but oh, that's a little weird if you push down on that. Okay. That's got a gap. Is that supposed to have a gap? Did I do something wrong here? I think something was done wrong. Let's take a look. It just looks like there's a gap. All right. So we'll see how it goes. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know, or even on YouTube. I posted the drawing went up on YouTube yesterday. So, and again, that was a week of being able to do that. I don't think I'll do that every day going forward, but maybe on Saturdays from now on. There's going to be two of those, so let's go ahead and get these two going. Seems to be an interesting build so far. Yeah, it's alright. It has got a lot of snot techniques on it. That's for sure. I think if I were to build this, it would probably be a little less intricate in its internal structure. But... Uh-oh. I am missing a piece. Did it get pushed? There it is. I'm not missing a piece. That's what I thought. So rarely missing pieces. But we all panic. It is interesting how they've got these put together. So that little hook on the bottom will go into that black bit right in the middle there to kind of hold it in place a little bit. Which is going to be funky because those are on a one stud. And they rotate. So you gotta make sure that lines up. So it is a little bit of a trick to get it in camera here too. I'm not a huge fan of how the grill tiles seem to be held on in some places by one stud, so they tend to do this. They're a little wiggly, but at this size and some of these techniques, it's hard to keep that straight. Sorry about your ears. 2 more bags of these things. Two more bags plus whatever's in this bag. That's quite a bit of tan tiles. I have a feeling one of these steps is like, now just cover the whole thing in tiles. But first, is this a ×2? Yeah. So let's do this ×2. So we went back this week and watched Karate Kid 2 and 3. I had seen 2, but I hadn't seen 3 in, if ever, then at least a couple years, a long time, few years. And I don't think our friends had seen it ever, so we watched that. 2 still holds up for me. 2 is still a fairly decent movie, I think. 3 was terrible. Just awful. Like, the writing was bad, the acting was terrible. There's one character. Good morning, Brad. How are you? Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday. There's one character in it that was good. And even he was like Terry Silver, the bad guy, was, I mean, he's over the top, and like one of our friends said, I just wanted him to, you know, every time he wasn't on the screen, I was just like, why isn't he on the screen? Because he was the most interesting part of the movie. Let's see. A bunch of those. Also learned a new word this weekend for Lego, and I didn't know this was a thing. Knolling, 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 meaning laying your parts out by type and color before you build. So emptying a bag out, organizing them really nicely. I don't do that. I think people get a bit of satisfaction out of doing that. Well, where is that? And it's very pleasing to be able to like lay things out. And I don't know if they do it for the whole set or just like one bag per set, but I do not do that. I do it for the microfighters when I'm doing videos of them to kind of show the parts that are in that model, so you can freeze it and go back and say, okay, it's this part and this part and this part. There they are. They're over in this bag. But that's it. I think people sometimes just do it to have it posted on Instagram. I think it's not really sorting, it's because sorting is just separating like this, like separating them into, but this is like laying them out like in a nice, laying them out like this, so where they're in a nice sort of laid out pattern. Right? And so you lay all these out, and then you lay all these out, and so they're in a nice sort of setup thing, right? That's different from just gathering them all into a group. And it's like all my this over here, all this over here. And I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I didn't know there was a term for it. Like you said, it was always just sorting. But sorting with an eye towards aesthetic, I guess. I don't know why you would do that other than to take a picture of it. 2021 is treating me just fine, Brad. I have had 3 days to deal with it, and so far I can't complain. I was telling Beth that I feel like I may have some PTSD from this, which is not to say that... Separate all these guys over here, too. I'm not trying to co-opt anybody's legitimate. I've seen action in combat theater, PTSD, or I've been in an abusive relationship, PTSD, or I survived a natural disaster, PTSD, or anything like that. Everybody's feelings are legitimate. But I was noticing the other day that I was not very calm. Usually I'm a pretty laid-back dude. I have flare-ups of frustration and stuff, but normally I'm like, I'm not anxious or anything. But I was noticing that I was looking at my phone all the time. And I was looking for something to do. Like, I couldn't sit still. And I felt like if I was missing out on, like if there was no package showing up, if I wasn't expecting anything in the mail, if I wasn't expecting people to come over, if I wasn't anticipating an event of some kind, and if I wasn't doing anything, I felt like something bad was going to happen. And it was just this really gross feeling. And Beth goes, that's PTSD. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, that's that's that anxiety of something is gonna happen and you can't control it, and you're just so desensitized to, you know, things that are always happening around you that you feel that something is going to happen all the time. I was like, ugh. Maybe to make it easier, finding pieces when you need them seems insane to me. Just dig like the rest of us. Yeah, right. Dump the bricks. There you go. Varieties, combat post-traumatic stress disorder is measurably different, both affecting cause from spousal abuse. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Like, there's different coding for it, and there's different treatment for it and stuff. But yeah, it was just this unsettling feeling because I don't remember what I was doing. But it was like I was in between tasks, right? I had done a thing, I'd like flipped laundry or something, and I had spent all morning doing, building this microfighter, which I don't know if you guys saw or not, my Umbaran Starfighter. I was really proud of this one. So I spent the morning building that, taking pictures of it, then doing the whiteboard stuff, then doing a Wikipedia page, you know, doing. And then at one point I just sat down on the couch and I was just like, you know, I was just sitting there like, and then I kept noticing I was grabbing for my phone and I was like, God, why am I doing this? It was just very, very not fun. And so everyone's like, you should go into therapy. And the big joke is because I'm the only one I know who's not in therapy of some kind. They're like, one of us, you should be in therapy, yay. I'm like, no. So I'm going to try to take that energy and just continue to be productive. I think that'll be a useful thing to have as in my tool chest, psychological tool chest. All right, these are going to go here. So also, because I've been watching so much old TV that I know, right? Everybody's in this sort of phase of I just want to watch something that I'm comfortable with, that I know, because I don't want to start new things. I just need like comfort viewing, comfort food, that kind of stuff. That's been going on for almost a year now. And this is ×2 again, so we're just going to do this ×2. I've also had like a lot of weird nostalgia dreams lately, because I've been doing nothing but watching old movies that I used to watch and watching old TV shows and getting that feeling of just kind of snuggling back into your couch and watching a thing that you're used to, and it's a dangerous drug, man. There's no shame in therapy, and I openly detest anyone who believes there is a shame. I don't shame anyone who's in therapy. I just never thought that it was something that I could benefit from. And Beth and I have had this conversation a lot, where she thinks I would. And at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what I would. I don't feel like there's anything in my life that is not broken, but in need of examination. I don't feel like I'm hurting myself or others with any of my behaviors. I don't feel like I'm, I could get more out of life because of something that my brain is doing. Oh wait, I overshot that completely. I just assumed I knew what was going on. Yeah, just slow down there, Tex. Whoa. Slow your roll. I will say, I know a lot of people in therapy, and as far as I can tell, it's great for them. I just don't think I'm one of those people that would I don't know, get much out of it. I think because the whole time I'd be thinking, what am I doing here? Do I really need this? I don't know. And I don't really think I have anything specific that I would go to therapy for. Like, I don't feel like I have anxiety or anything that requires medication. I feel like I'm a semi-successful adult who has not really had need or want of anything my whole life. So I'm like, what would I be going for, you know? Like if there's something that needs improving, I can't see it. But I don't want to go just because it's available. You know, it's like, maybe I should try therapy for no other reason than it's there. This is just a weird conversation. I'm sure all my friends and Beth and my ex-wife, who is one of my friends, would be like, yeah, you should go see someone. You should go talk to somebody. This is my therapy. I'm able to talk. I'm able to build, get my mind off some stuff for a while. I do have a fear of talking to people on the phone. Maybe I should explore that. Not a fear, just an aversion. I just don't like doing it. Somebody says, yeah, you have to call them. I'm like, can I send an email? I do not like that at all. All right. My Instacart order just started. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm anxiously awaiting my Instacart order. If something's not happening. Got those two, got that, got that. 4 of these, so 8. And by default, these are all sorted. Just because I took all the other pieces away. Yeah, so we binged Cobra Kai yesterday. And I didn't want to. I hate sitting in one place for more than a little while. Like an hour or two I can get because, you know, movies or watch a show or something like that. But like 5-6 hours, I'm like, I just can't do that. And Beth says, you've played video games for that long. I'm like, not 5 or 6 hours. I have played video games for a long time, but I don't know. Maybe not recently. But I get antsy if we're sitting there because, like, we'll talk to her parents weekly on Saturday, and I get really antsy about it. Like, about a half hour in, I'm like, well, these aren't my parents, and I could be doing other things right now. Which is kind of rude, but... So I was like, let's go do something. Let's get something done. Yeah, I think if I was a CSR, and I have been before, I would get over it pretty easily, pretty quickly. Or not really get over it, but find ways to work through it. I don't think you ever... That may be why I don't like doing it, because I used to do telemarketing, and I used to do customer service. I used to work for Ticketmaster. Ugh. Talk about an awful, awful place to work. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I used to do cold calls out of the phone book for a women's only health spa called Mademoiselle Health Spa when I was in Denver. and I would call, and of course, it was a job, so I didn't really care what it was because I needed money. But the place that I worked was all women, and it's much easier when you are trying to... Oh, this is going to be terrible. This is repetitive. I got to make 40 of these. Well, let's see how many of these are. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So all but those. Okay. When you are getting a cold call from a guy saying, is the woman of the house there? She's won a 3-month, 6-month, whatever we're giving away membership to Mademoiselle Health Spa, which was a female women's only health spa, which sounds great. You know, I'm sure it was. It's a business model for a reason. But when it's a guy calling, they're like, "What? No, this is skeevy AF." So I changed tactics, and about halfway through my employment, I put on a slightly more effeminate voice, and my numbers went up because I wasn't as threatening, I guess. Also, I was bored, and I was in theater, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. So that was awful because we were just like, our call list was the phone book. We'd each get a phone book and just, all right, I'm starting with the A's. And you'd get a lot of, my wife is dead, nobody here by that name. You're like, oh shit, all right, my condolences. And then I was, working for Ticketmaster was terrible. Because you're just reading off a script. There was no automation. You were just taking orders from people who were buying concert tickets. And the biggest complaint was always that the service fees were exorbitant, which I agree, but I'm just like, hey man, you want to go to a concert here in Denver, you got to go through Ticketmaster, which sucked. How many of these? 9, 5, 4, 5. All of those. So that may be why I don't like talking on the phone with people. Also, it's a bit of imposter syndrome. Like, I feel... Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 5. Just want to make sure I don't go over. That's right. Okay. I always feel like whenever I'm calling somebody, especially where I work now, is that I'm usually calling people because I need help. And... yeah, I was a telemarketer. It was terrible. I was calling, and of course my hours were like 5 to 9. So I mean, I'm calling during dinner. You know, it's just, I'm like, can I not work from like noon to 4 or something? So when I call people that at work, it's always because something's broken and I need help. And when I talk to these people, I always feel like they obviously know more than me because I'm calling them. And so every time I talk to them, I feel like there's a bit of an imposter syndrome going on where it's like, I really don't know what I'm doing. You can ask me all the questions you want, but I don't know how to answer them. Which is partly true. I just have to I just need to relax more about it and say, okay, I have a job where I have to know a lot of, it's very latitudinal, and I have to know I have to know just enough about a lot of things, rather than kind of a vertical where I know a lot about one thing. And the people that I call obviously know a lot about one thing. So I have to get out of that mindset of they're there because of their expertise, not because I'm failing. And that sometimes helps. When I realize that, it helps me get over that. But again, that's a logical thought process. But in the moment, sometimes you just get panicky and you're like, well, I don't want to talk to them. I'm not going to take their call. Let them leave a voicemail. I'll call them back. Yeah, telemarketer, and that job lasted all of about a month, maybe. It was just terrible. And we got paid almost nothing because it was all commission. One short here. Have to Google how to solve their problem. I mean, I do that in IT all the time anyway, because there's a lot of, like I said, know a little bit about a lot of different things. And it means that you will have, oh God, to cover all these in files. There's going to be times when I don't know what that error message means. Sometimes you can tell right away what the problem is based on how they describe it. But a lot of times you're like, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. And even if, you know, then you can't find it if you look it up. My favorite thing is that there will be an issue with something, and I look it up and I can't find it, so I go to the support forums for Microsoft, and I'll post something on their TechNet community saying, here's my issue, here's the error, here's what I've done, here's the troubleshooting I've gone through. None of these things work. What do I need to do next? And generally, there's never a really good response. You never find a good answer. You either have to, you post there and then you dumb through it and just try a bunch of more things, or you find it on another site and then you forget about that post. And then like 6 months to a year goes by and the same problem comes up and you're like, oh, that's right. What did we do for this initially? And so you start Googling and you find an article and you're like, oh, this is it exactly. And then you click on it and realize it's your post that never got an answer. And you're like, oh, it's terrible. I do a lot of deferring to either my boss, who's went to school for like computer science, or one of our developers. These are very flat and very not, and you can see how it's curved. I'm hoping that goes away. Yeah, the phone thing is weird. I just don't like talking to people on the phone, especially. So my reasoning is generally, I say, I do a lot of different things, and I don't want this to get lost in a phone conversation where I'll forget what we talked about. Please email me what work we've done or what you need to happen, if I need to do the work. So I have a written record of it, so I can reference this later. If you call and just say, hey, let's walk through this real quick, and I'm like, okay, we're all done, and then I forget what we did, and if I don't write it down, I don't have a record of it. In a lot of cases, I'll get interrupted while I'm fixing something, so I don't have a chance to write it down. So I always try to use that as an excuse, saying, hey, look, I need a paper trail of some kind, so I know that so I can save it, and if this comes up again, I know what we did. Or so I can show my boss what we did, in case there's a licensing issue or if we have to spend money on something. That seems to work pretty well. Now this is what I'd call repetitive, just covering something with these tiles. The Colosseum wasn't repetitive like this. The Colosseum was, hey, build this one section 20 times, but vary it slightly. That's not terribly repetitive. But hey man, it's a cool set. I'm not gonna complain. I like how it looks so far. Hey man. Yeah, I don't know if there's something that could be put in here. Or they're just assuming that the clutch power of the sides of the building will take care of that. And I guess it does. I don't know if you can see that, but see how the tiles are a little squirrely? Makes it look like it's not really on straight. Don't build the art sets then. I did 3 of the Star Wars ones. Don't build the art sets then? Oh, because they're repetitive? Yeah. I was like, I'll build whatever sets I want, Brad. No, it's fine. I get what you're saying. Yeah, when I saw those, when those came out, I'm like, I am not doing those. That is... I mean, it's a cool idea, but I think I would lose my mind. It's like paint by number with Lego. Which, I mean, any set that you get from Lego is basically following instructions. Last bag. We're going to be done early. I don't know what we're going to do after this, because this bag's not going to have a lot in it. Did I get another dinosaur set? I did. Maybe I'll mess with a dinosaur set for a little bit. Do some mocking with some dinosaurs. So they combine together too, right? The Star Wars ones, you can do a big Darth Vader or something like that if you combine all 3. Are you gonna do that? All right. Times 4. Oh God. Let's see if we can do times 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're super boring to build, but they look great after. Yeah, they do look cool. I know that Josh Builds on YouTube, dude who lives like 5 minutes away from me. He did a couple of his own, like he got the parts for it, and he did a Mandalorian and a Stormtrooper, just a regular Stormtrooper one. And they look great. I get the appeal. I need to get more canyon bricks over here. There's a guy in our LUD who's built basically like a... He's built Mos Eisley by the looks of it, but he doesn't call it Mos Eisley. He calls it like Star Wars Space Scene. But it looks... I mean, it's just a big desert hovel with like little spaceships in it and stuff, and it's really, really great. It's huge. I'm like, well, now I know where all the canyon colored bricks went. Jerk. Oh, these are all just covered. Might as well just cover them. Ugh, again, these aren't held on. Guess I'm complaining. Did you get anything from Lego January 1st? I did. I got... I went ahead and got the bonsai tree and the flowers. And I think I'm going to have Beth build with me on that one. She can pick one and I'll pick another, or I don't know. Getting a lot of these sets. It's funny because I get a lot of these sets that I want to display, but I'm so running out of room to display them. Like, I don't know how long I'll keep the Empire State Building up, but I feel like this is one that needs to be kept up for a while because it's architecture. But it's like, I can say the same thing about any of the Star Wars stuff. It's like, I really like that. But the Star Wars ones are the first ones to go. Like, I had the Y-Wing up. I had the Y-Wing together, the Resistance Y-Wing together for like 3 days. And then I was like, yep, time to take it apart. Need the pieces. But like all the architecture sets are still together. All the ideas sets are still together. All these car sets are still together. Just running out of place to display them. And with nobody ever coming over to the house, it's kind of like no reason to display them. Although I've got a big old wall over here. I guess I could put shelves in and start moving stuff over there. It's a big project for a old retired guy. I'm kind of excited for that little car too. You get the gift with purchase, that little classic car. That was a neat one. I'm excited for that. It's actually a neat idea. I actually may want to put some shelving over on this big, because I get this, we got the front door right over here, and then it's this big wall until you get to this arch where it goes into the kitchen. And this is a dining room, basically. But there's this big blank wall right here. I think it'd be, honestly, I think it'd be pretty cool if it had some shelves on it and had some display. But right now, the whole thing is full of boxes because we just got, the holidays really kicked our butt with boxes. All right, times 4. Got those done times 4. And those go like that. Okay. So those go, these on the outside like this. Oh, I did get the Mando set too, yeah. I knew I got something else. Yeah, I got that. I didn't want to get that, but I felt like... I felt kind of bad that the only way to get his actual Beskar armor was to get this new stupid little speeder set with a dumb, like, side piece of, you know, scenery that, I don't know, the playability, I've never liked, even from the first Star Wars stuff with like Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, and Darth Maul's on his speeder, and there's like a little thing. It's like a little moisture farm thing, or a little outpost thing that just kind of is there. And you're like, really? That's the playability of this? I've just never kind of got into that. I always thought it was kind of dumb. All right, so now we're going to be building on the top, which I know is going to be hard to see, so you'll be able to see it up here, I guess. Maybe do that. Let's do this. There we go. We'll build towards the camera. So we'll raise the camera a bit, maybe. That'll work. I don't even think I'm gonna build the set. I want the fig and the child. I got the fig and I got the child from the Razor Crest. I don't need a second one. Also, I'm not really into the figures anyway. And the child I can't really put into a microfighter. I would only really need the Mandalorian to do, or the, you know, figures to do microfighters, to have like a display for a little vehicle. But I've already got a small Razor Crest. I don't know. I'll probably build the set once and then have it just go, and then just take it right apart and put it all into storage. Because I do like putting stuff together. That's why I also don't have a whole lot of backlog. Because I do like building. But it's just, you know, the scenes like the Pisana, I think it's Pisana, speeder bit with Rey and Poe, and that weird set that also had like a hut off to the side kind of thing. I'm like, I'll put it together once, but then it's going away, which means I don't have a backlog of stuff. You know, everything I get, I build like right away, as soon as possible. I don't like letting things sit. Yeah, I mean, you can get the Razor Crest if you want it. It's not a bad build. There's a lot that was left off of it, or there was a lot that I didn't like about the underside, especially. You know, and now it's like, I don't know if you're caught up on everything, but it's not there anymore. So now it's kind of like, but to be honest, you know, a lot of X-Wings and TIE Fighters blew up in all the movies, but people still buy them, and Lego still thinks we need more X-Wings and TIE Fighters. I'm not getting more X-Wings and TIE Fighters in 2021, that's for sure. I don't remember the last time I bought a TIE Fighter or an X-Wing set from Lego. It's like, I bought these once. I don't think I want to do that again. And I got the Bandit Scout Walker because it had Cara Dune in it. And the Razor Crest came with Grief Karga. I don't know if the sets come with Queel or not. I can't remember. I don't know if I've got Queel. Oh, whoops. Actually is like that. A lot of silver. Look at these silver parts. Metallic silver. Not chrome, but metallic silver. These, I think, are going to have to be visible, so I can't steal these and use them later. For different things. Ugh. That wrong. He didn't have a fig yet? Okay. Which sucks. That would be a good figure. Maybe a little, whatever those beasts called. Blurg. With a Queel fig. Like his house. A set with his house. Or his shack, shanty, whatever it is. Hut. Oh, also today I was thinking about what we had to do today, and I think today was also a podcast recording day. Keep forgetting about that. Next episode drops tomorrow. Sound quality on this latest one is not awesome, so that's why I'm going to go play with Audacity a little bit and try to figure out what went wrong. It's still, you can still hear it. It's just a little tinny. Also, if you like supernatural stuff, I'm going to pimp the Narbos and Broomheads podcast. There's one of the guys has his own podcast called the Some Weird Podcast. And it is about... Did I forget a thing? Sure did. It's about supernatural stuff that happens... I guess primarily in Newfoundland, but maybe in Canada in general, but I think it's mostly Newfoundland. So it's great accents, Newfoundland accents, and some interesting stuff. So you should give it a check out. I hate steps like this with bars. It's hard to tell how far in they want you to push that. I'm guessing all the way. Usually it's like just push this in all the way. But I wish you would say something. Because I don't want to assume. Because that looks like it's a lot longer than just that. Oh, that's why. Yeah, Supernatural is in the phenomenon. So there's a thing, like their first episode is called The Boom on Bell Island, which I'd actually heard about. But it's Bell Island in Newfoundland. And then the next episode's about fairies, like the lore and the tales behind fairies. And then the one after that is the old hag, which deals with a lot with sleep paralysis and sort of the stories behind why people think that there's these curses of the hag kind of thing. Oh, this is ×2, so let's do that. So they're pretty cool. I mean, they're long. They're like an hour and a half sometimes, but the two hosts are very charming. So it's kind of fun to listen to it because they honestly believe in, well, not honestly believe, but they really like what they're doing. And they're pretty good podcast hosts, so. So I think it's totally worth checking out. And I have to be careful because listening to 3 to 4.5 hours of these guys talking now, you get that thing where you pick up somebody's accent. I'm trying not to. That's pretty cool so far. And now my guess is we're going to do the other side. Here's your fun fact. At 222 feet, a 222 feet radio antenna was erected atop the tower in 1950, allowing the area's television stations to broadcast from the building. Atop the tower is the 203-foot pinnacle, much of which is covered by broadcasting antennas and surmounted with a lightning rod. So there you go. Two. Soon sets have the one-to-one image to line it up. What? Soon sets the one-to... I don't know what that means, Brad. I'm very sorry. Extra pieces on here. Oh, I'm really jumping ahead. Why don't I put these together first? That's just slick. That just looks like a good old sci-fi rocket. That goes up there, like so. And we're already out of range of the camera. What's up, Lego Geek? Some sets have the one-to-one image to line it up. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. They usually do that with the axles. They'll have the axle length, so you can kind of put it on the page and say, okay, that's a 3 axle, that's a 4 axle. I'm talking about like when you have to push something in, like a bar, like that. It's like, do they want it just sitting out just so, or do they want it pushed in all the way, you know? And then later in the steps, you'll see that it'll be like pushed in farther, so... I'm just impatient. right. Well, there you go. It's a lightning rod, and we're done. That's it. Empire State Building. Start to finish. And it's only 11 o'clock. A little after 11. So yeah. Lego architecture, do you like it? Aimez-vous Lego? Le groupe Lego aimerait connaître votre opinion sur le produit que vous venez d'acheter. Vos commentaires nous aideront à concevoir le futur produit de cette gamme. Voulez visiter? I got some of that. To remind myself to take more French. All right, so that's done, and so here's your scale. I don't know how this rates, but just so you get an idea of how big they are. I'm pretty sure the Empire State Building is much bigger than the Statue of Liberty, but here they are, comparison size. And I don't think I can do anything with this camera to make it better. In these bags. And again, here's a box that I won't keep, but I'll keep the instructions. There you go. All right. Sort of a dual camera mode here. Sorry, but there's your builds. This is the new one. Here's a recent set to look at. Clown King 133. How's it going? Good to see you. So done with this. This will go on display probably very close to this. I'm going to leave these out here for a while because my display shelf in the TV room is currently taken up by nutcrackers, so I have to find a spot for all of them. But yeah, here's your Empire State Building. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's a nice solid set. Some of the architecture stuff, or the build technique stuff, I wasn't really happy with. It's very solid now that it's all together. Like, you know, it's not going anywhere. But getting some of these lower bits in here to kind of wedge in, I really wasn't happy with that because I felt like I was doing something wrong. But you can see the top, how it, some of the techniques up there, and then a nice silver on the top there, the flat silver, or the metallic silver. It's really cool looking. I like it a lot. I think if more architecture sets were like this, I might get them. But we get a lot of these sort of about this big, smaller, lower buildings and houses and things like that. So I think just because this is a skyscraper, it's pretty cool. Maybe if they did the, not the Sears Tower, but maybe the Space Needle, or the one in Dubai, something like that. I think those would be pretty fun. So yeah, and again, these are the same car sizes as the Coliseum, but if I put this next to the Coliseum, it would be a stupid comparison. Yeah, the metallic looking stuff is pretty cool. So, and if you're just joining us again, I had built, this was the Umbaran from Clone Wars, Microfighter, Starfighter. Very pleased with this one, especially the shape of the wings. You can see there's like some turntables and some jumper plates in there to kind of hold it all together. And then the helmet for the Umbaran pilot is not original. That is an Umbaran fighter, but you get this clear helmet from a different set, I think. And I think that works better because they had those bubble helmets instead. And then the stand that it's on is, of course, like the Umbaran space port or whatever. It's kind of a dark planet with a lot of glowing bits, so I tried to do that. So yeah, adding it to the group of things that have been built this year. So yeah. Yeah, I don't like the skylines much, but they're okay. So that's really it. I don't have anything else to build. That's kind of it. Go full camera here. I do have more dinosaur stuff, but and the rest of the stuff I've got is now just sorting things. Another one of these. So saw this one on Instagram. It's a nice build. I really like how you got. Oh, thank you, Clown King. Yeah, I tried to put him down there in the corner while I'm building. I need to add the Umbaran one because it needs to be added to the list. So I guess for like 20 minutes, I'm gonna bust one of these open, and we'll just sit here and chat for like 20 minutes. Get rid of these things. So I've got 2 of these now, and I think we could maybe come up with something fun. A little mock, maybe. Oh, I still have to do the build challenge for today, the daily brick limit challenge. Don't need this box. But here's an example of times when I still like building the thing, but I'm not going to keep any of this together. There are some pieces that I like having in these sets, which is why I got them. Most notably, these are great. These barbs, and I don't have enough of these. These are great, these horns, and I always like having teeth. These make for good greebling sometimes, and I do not nearly have enough of these. I wish I had these in gray, but that's it. So, yeah, I've got 2 of these sets, so let's mock something maybe real quick. I built one of these last time, just to kill time. Built the Triceratops. Let's see what we can do with this. So the next microfighter, where did I put all that stuff? Yeah, the next microfighter I've got will be, I decided that I'm going to part out a new class shuttle with a clone pilot, so we'll do that. And I think that's, the new class is, NU class, is that sort of snub nose. It looks like a Lambda class, but it's, I think the tail, the dorsal fin's different, and it's got kind of a snub nose cockpit. It's an attack shuttle from what I can tell. And then I've ordered parts for Wolf Yularen, and you can't really see him in there, and the TIE shuttle. So I've got parts on that coming. So I'll part this one out, and that'll be the next one we see. Yeah, so let's take this guy apart. And then after that, I don't know. Who do we have in the box? Kind of running out of actual figures to build with, so I've got a Star Scavenger with Rowan Darklighter or Starlighter or whatever his name is. Do an Edda class shuttle with Mace Windu. Can do a Jedi Interceptor. I've already got a design for this. It's not my design. Mandalorian fighter, one of those I forget what those are called. We saw one in The Mandalorian recently. It was Bo-Katan's ship, but it's an actual fighter, and the one I have is actually really big. It's too big for a microfighter. It's like almost MIDI scale. Hey, look, spam. Neat. Want to become famous? Make a CIS shuttle. The whatever peed, that kind of ball or that elongated ellipsoid with like the weird fin on the back. That one, I think I've got. Somebody's built one of those. I'll take a look at it because it's a really good design. So I may just use theirs. And I don't know who to put in it. A lot of the microfighters I do get done because there's a cool figure to go with it, but in this case, I'm running out of figures. I'm gonna have to start getting some custom figures because I'm getting way into Legends territory with some of these ships. Things like the next great galactic war or the Fell Empire or stuff like that. Cade Skywalker. A bunch of weird Sith Lords that no one's ever heard of. I might just sort these out for now. I'll spend the time sorting. Good old Russian bots. Yeah. We could do some knolling here. Sort these out by part type. See, it's good to have these too, even though they're green. You can use them internally for mechs and things, because these are pretty solid connections. As long as you don't overuse them and they wear out, they're pretty stiff. So at that size maybe for mechs, they're pretty good. Any bigger and you need to either double up or get those ratchet hinges instead. Those ratchet joints like in AT-ATs. What's my opinion on Disney Star Wars? So my opinion on Disney Star Wars is that there are parts of it that I like and parts of it that I don't. I like the world building parts of it. I think some of the newer planets are very cool. I like some of the characters. The movies were fun initially, but on rewatch, I feel like there's a lot of problems with it. And that's just sort of it from a long-time old Star Warsy fan. I still have fun watching it, and I've been trying to just let it go a little bit and be like, yeah, so what? It's just Star Wars. It's meant to be kind of a laugh and a ride, and I'm trying not to think too hard into it. What I really like more and more is all the books coming out, which is something that I liked originally, was all the EU books. Heir to the Empire, Truce at Baccarat. Some of them were terrible, like the Courtship of Princess Leia. Nobody wanted that. But like the Corellian series, the old Corellian series, that was pretty cool. I don't know. I like the characters a lot. I think the characters are pretty cool. I think they were underused in some sense, or just written, like once they created the characters, they were just kind of like written weirdly. I wouldn't have made some choices with the characters, but it is what it is. Hey, M.Dot. But yeah, I think Star Wars is one of those things where you can enjoy it without it being you can enjoy it like you can like a carnival ride, right? It's fun while you're there. It's fun while it's going on, as long as you don't think about how dangerous it was, right? So don't think about it too much and you'll be fine. It's just there to kind of in the moment please everybody. And I mean everybody. They're doing their best to make sure that everybody gets something out of it. So the Disney ones, I think, are especially like that because there's so much lore built into Star Wars that they have to try to toe the line and please a lot of people. And that's hard to do. They have to please fans, they have to please investors, they have to make sure their actors are working as well as they can be and their team is producing as well as can be. So, I mean, it's not just the moviegoers they have to keep happy, it's everybody. And this is the product they end up with. And the good thing about media, and the good thing about entertainment is if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it anymore. You can just say, well, you know what? I tried. It's not for me. There's a lot of people who don't like... We were talking last night to friends of ours who... One of the guys was like, I tried watching Pan's Labyrinth and I could not get into it. So I didn't take to his Facebook page and then berate him to high heaven because he didn't like Pan's Labyrinth. So it's a weird thing that Star Wars has sort of elicited this reaction out of people where it's like, you don't like this? How dare you? It's like, just stop yucking their yum, man. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Yeah, no one will ever be happy. Yeah, I thought they did Luke pretty well. I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that he was sort of flip about the Jedi, and he's just like, this is dumb. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But when you look back on it even touched a little bit of the EU, the Legends stuff, because even in those books, he wasn't doing well as a trainer of Jedi. He tried to train Han and Leia's kids, and one of them went off and became like a terrible, terrible person. So, I mean, there's almost precedent in this. And, all his intentions were good, but maybe he's just not a good teacher. So the idea of him saying, look, I think I'm not the one to do this. I think it's a bad idea overall. And I think the Jedi should just disappear. I think we're a terrible influence on the galaxy. That totally makes sense with who he is as a person. And I don't think he was written poorly at all in that sense. Which means him showing up in The Mandalorian and how's he going to screw this up? You have that sort of sense of, he's already said in the movies, this is going to be bad. So let's see what happens. It'll be interesting. Yeah, and he probably was traumatized. I can see that. And be like, no, I'm shook. I can't do this anymore. I tried and it went really bad, and now I'm going to run away from it. That's a completely valid thing to have happen to a person. We're about at 11:30, so I'll just keep talking for a couple minutes, but I don't want to go too much longer because there's stuff to do today. New people to the show, if you follow the links in the description, you can find me on Instagram. All my stuff on Instagram. And we do have a podcast. Our first episode is out last week. Second episode drops tomorrow morning. And it will come out every 2 weeks on Monday morning. If you're into Canadian teen dramas and reviews of old television shows, then it's right up your alley. We have fun doing it. We just got to make sure to keep doing it. Don't lose any steam. Ooh, that's a good piece. I wonder if it's a new version or if it's one of the brittle the brittle, because there was some dark red that was brittle as well as the reddish brown that broke easily. Yeah, thanks for being here, Brad, Dave. Nice seeing you, Clown King. Hope you come back. I think I will be back on Tuesday. I generally don't have a whole lot going on, but this got built. If I get more pieces in before then, I'll have that built. But I may do another design. I'll do some studio work and design a new microfighter. I may bore everybody and work on instructions. So we'll just have to see what goes on. I have to take this guy apart next. Ooh, look at all these teeth. I love it. I'm also excited because I got one of these. I got two of these. They had them at Costco for like 40 bucks. I thought these were the ones with the plates, but still 1,500 pieces for 40 bucks. So I got two of them, and this is just raw pieces. I'm not going to do anything with this except take them out of the bags and sort them. I already busted one open to get the parts for the... I don't have a lot of purple, so I got all the purple out of that. Those are my local PAB a few years ago. Nice. Birthday. Oh, Tuesday's your birthday? Happy birthday. Yeah, you should come back and hang out, and we'll chat. But yeah. Yeah, so I think I'm wrapping it up. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Holidays are kind of over, so happy end of your holidays. And let's see. And hope to see you guys on Tuesday, if not, at least Thursday. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.